Welcome to Solar Glance prepared by Fariz for Baba.
Agenda: Solar panel review. Background. Evaluation. Prospect. Global portfolio. Analysis. Bangladesh current. Background of solar energy.
The history of solar. Source: U.S. Department of Energy. 7th century BC. Magnifying glass used to concentrate sun's rays to make fire. 2nd century BC. The Greek scientist Archimedes used the reflective properties of bronze shields to focus sunlight and to set fire to wooden ships from the Roman Empire. 20 AD. Chinese document use of burning mirrors to light torches for religious purposes. 6th century AD. Sunrooms on houses and public buildings were so common that the Justinian Code initiated sun rights to ensure individual access to the sun. 1767. Swiss scientist Horace de Saussure was credited with building the world's first solar collector. 1839. French scientist Edmond Becquerel discovers the photovoltaic effect while experimenting with an electrolytic cell. 1883. Charles Fritz, an American inventor, described the first solar cells made from selenium wafers. 1905. Albert Einstein published his paper on the photoelectric effect along with the theory of relativity. 1954. Photovoltaic technology is born in the United States. 1959. Hoffman Electronics achieves 10% efficient, commercially available photovoltaic cells. 1964. NASA launches the first Nimbus spacecraft, a satellite powered by a 470-watt photovoltaic array. 1970s. Dr. Elliot Berman, with the help from Exxon Corporation, designs a significantly less costly solar cell, bringing price down from $100 a watt to $20 a watt. 1972. The Institute of Energy Conversion is established at the University of Delaware to perform research and development on thin-film photovoltaic and solar thermal systems, becoming the world's first laboratory dedicated to PV research and development. 1980. Arcos Solar becomes the first company to produce more than 1 megawatt of photovoltaic modules in 1 year. 1991. President George Bush redesignates the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Energy Research Institute as the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. 1996. The world's most advanced solar-powered airplane, the iCare, flew over Germany. 2000. At the International Space Station, astronauts begin installing solar panels on what will be the largest solar power array deployed in space. 2010. President Obama in his State of the Union states, by 2035, 80% of America's electricity will come from clean energy sources. The future. All buildings will be built to combine energy-efficient design and construction practices. Solar electricity will be used to electrolyze water and the production of hydrogen for fuel cells.
What are solar panels? Solar panels are devices that convert light into electricity. What's a photovoltaic panel? Photovoltaic solar panels are panels that convert solar radiation into electricity. The grouping of many solar panels in one place is called a solar photovoltaic plant.
Advantage of solar panel: it reduces your electricity bill. Renewable energy. Low maintenance. Cuts your carbon footprint. Sells electricity back to grid. Improving technology. Diverse application. It's more futuristic and sets good examples for students.
Disadvantage of solar panel: upfront high cost. Weather dependent. Solar energy storage is expensive. Requires space.
The Earth intercepts a lot of solar power. 173,000 terawatts. That's 10,000 times more power than the planet's population uses. So is it possible that one day the world could be completely reliant on solar energy? To answer that question, we first need to examine how solar panels convert solar energy to electrical energy. Solar panels are made up of smaller units called solar cells. The most common solar cells are made from silicon, a semiconductor that is the second most abundant element on Earth. In a solar cell, crystalline silicon is sandwiched between conductive layers. Each silicon atom is connected to its neighbors by 4 strong bonds, which keep the electrons in place so no current can flow. Here's the key. A silicon solar cell uses 2 different layers of silicon. An N-type silicon has extra electrons, and P-type silicon has extra spaces for electrons, called holes. Where the 2 types of silicon meet, electrons can wander across the p-n junction, leaving a positive charge on one side and creating negative charge on the other. You can think of light as the flow of tiny particles called photons shooting out from the sun. When one of these photons strikes the silicon cell with enough energy, it can knock an electron from its bond, leaving a hole. The negatively charged electron and location of the positively charged hole are now free to move around. But because of the electric field at the p-n junction, they'll only go one way. The electron is drawn to the n side, while the hole is drawn to the p side. The mobile electrons are collected by thin metal fingers at the top of the cell. From there, they flow through an external circuit, doing electrical work like powering a light bulb, before returning through the conductive aluminum sheet on the back. Each silicon cell only puts out half a volt, but you can string them together in modules to get more power. 12 photovoltaic cells are enough to charge a cell phone, while it takes many modules to power an entire house. Electrons are the only moving parts in a solar cell, and they all go back where they came from. There's nothing to get worn out or used up, so solar cells can last for decades. So what's stopping us from being completely reliant on solar power? There are political factors at play, not to mention businesses that lobby to maintain the status quo. But for now, let's focus on the physical and logistical challenges. And the most obvious of those is that solar energy is unevenly distributed across the planet. Some areas are sunnier than others. It's also inconsistent. Less solar energy is available on cloudy days or at night. So a total reliance would require efficient ways to get electricity from sunny spots to cloudy ones, and effective storage of energy. The efficiency of the cell itself is a challenge too. If sunlight is reflected instead of absorbed, or if dislodged electrons fall back into a hole before going through the circuit, that photon's energy is lost. The most efficient solar cell yet still only converts 46% of the available sunlight to electricity, and most commercial systems are currently 15 to 20% efficient. In spite of these limitations, it actually would be possible to power the entire world with today's solar technology. We'd need the funding to build the infrastructure and a good deal of space. Estimates range from tens to hundreds of thousands of square miles. Which seems like a lot, but the Sahara Desert alone is over 3 million square miles in area. Meanwhile, solar cells are getting better, cheaper, and are competing with electricity from the grid. And innovations like floating solar farms may change the landscape entirely. Thought experiments aside, there's the fact that over 1 billion people don't have access to a reliable electric grid, especially in developing countries, many of which are sunny. So in places like that, solar energy is already much cheaper and safer than available alternatives like kerosene. For, say, Finland or Seattle, though, effective solar energy may still be a little way off.
The process: solar panels, inverter, electrical panel, utility meter, utility grid, monitoring system. Solar panel. Panels of silicon made up of photovoltaic.
Turns sunlight into electricity or heating. Solar cell, solar module, solar panel.
The most commonly used renewable energy source is solar energy. But how is solar energy used to generate electricity? A photovoltaic or PV system is used to convert the solar or light energy into electrical energy. The basic component of the PV system is known as the solar cell. A single solar cell has the capacity of producing about 0.5 volts of electricity. A solar panel or solar module is the combination of several solar cells connected in series to generate usable voltage. The solar panel voltage can be increased by increasing the number of solar cells. For example, 30 solar cells connected in series will produce an output of 15 volts. A combination of solar panels connected together is known as solar array and can be used to achieve required current and voltage. How does the solar cell work? The generation of electricity on exposure to sunlight is known as the photovoltaic effect. This principle is used by solar cells to produce electricity. The solar cells are made up of semiconductors, mainly silicon, and comprises 3 layers. The top layer, called the N-type layer, is comparatively thin and contains high concentration of electrons. The bottom layer, called the P-type layer, contains high concentration of holes. When the P-type and the N-type semiconductor is joined, it forms a p-n junction. On forming a p-n junction, the electrons of the N-type material try to reach the P region, creating a negatively charged layer. Similarly, the holes of the P-type material try to reach the N region, creating a positively charged layer. This region, between the 2 layers, is known as the depletion region of the semiconductor. Sunlight penetrates the top thin layer easily to reach the depletion region. Due to the deficiency of charge in the depletion region, it contains neutral atoms. These neutral atoms are broken when the photons from the sunlight strike the depletion layer. This knocks the electrons from the neutral atoms, leaving behind the holes and producing free charge carriers. Then, the electrons move towards the N-type layer and the holes move towards the P-type layer due to the electric field present in the depletion region. On connecting an electronic circuit, the electrons flow through it, generating electricity to electrical devices.
Functions of inverter. Changes DC electricity created by solar panels into AC electricity. Electrical panel. The AC electricity from the inverter to the electrical panel, which makes electricity in your home. Utility meter. This measures the amount of energy you use. Utility grid. It's energy for businesses. Take a glance of monitoring system. Types of solar panel. There are 3 types of solar panel. Photovoltaic solar panel, thermal solar panel, hybrid solar panel. What is a photovoltaic solar panel? Photovoltaic cells convert light into electricity. What is a thermal solar panel? Take advantage of the sun's energy and convert it into heat. Can be converted into hot water or space heater. That's how the system works.
What is a hybrid solar panel? It's like a mix of a photovoltaic and a thermal panel, producing energy and heat. Hybrid solar at a site.
Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be checking out the best solar panels you can buy right now. I made this list based on my personal opinion and hours of research, and I've listed them based on performance, features, and price. I've included options for every type of consumer, so whether you're looking for a budget solar panel for your RV or a larger system for home and business, we'll have the product for you. If you want more information and updated pricing on the products mentioned, be sure to check the links in the description below. Okay, so let's get started with the video. The fifth product on our list is the HQST 100-watt 12-volt. This is our best budget solar panel. If you're looking for an affordable solution for alternative energy, the HQST 100-watt 12-volt polycrystalline solar panel is great for RVs, campers, cabins, boats, and even for emergencies at homes for just $80. It's a simple two-piece set for use with a 12-volt battery, it's multi-use, and it's great for off-grid applications as well as work sites. The main thing you'll notice about the HQST when comparing to other budget solar panels is the quality of the components. You'll find these panels have a solid and strong frame with low iron-tempered glass with enhanced stiffness and impact resistance. They're also anti-reflective with high transparency. The build is quite good and able to withstand high winds and considerable snow loads. The pre-drilled holes on the back of the panel makes it convenient for fast mounting and securing, and it's compatible with different mounting systems such as Z-brackets, pole mounts, and tilt mounts. With high module conversion efficiency, you can get up to 500 watt-hours per day. Depending on the availability of sunlight, and the bypass diodes minimize power drop caused by shade and ensure excellent performance in low-light environments. If you're looking for a little more efficiency, you may consider a monocrystalline solar panel like the Renogy 100 watts 12 volts coming up next in the video. If you're an RVer, you'll love how it can power all your necessary appliances throughout your day, including lights, ceiling fan, and even your TV. The extra features are enhanced cell performance, uses advanced encapsulation material with multi-layered sheet laminations to enhance cell performance. The pros are price. It's priced affordably when compared to similar quality solar panels. Durability. It has a corrosion-resistant aluminum frame for extended outdoor use. Ease of setup. Relatively easy bracket installation setup. IP67 rating. It's dustproof and waterproof. And for the cons, smaller surface size. Compared to similar solar panels, the surface area is slightly smaller. The HQST 100-watt 12-volt polycrystalline solar panel is one of the most affordable solutions for campers, RVers, or those who want to be prepared for emergencies in their homes with an alternative energy source. The fourth product on our list is the Renogy 100 watts 12 volts monocrystalline solar panel. This is our best compact solar panel. If you're looking for a solar panel that requires a smaller footprint for your RVs, campers, or cabins, the Renogy 100 watt 12 volt monocrystalline solar panel is the perfect addition to any off-grid application. You'll get high power in a nice compact size. It's one of the Renogy's most popular products and provides optimum power to run your off-grid applications even though it's shorter than their standard 100-watt panels but still offers the same power output. The monocrystalline solar cells ensure maximum output and ideal efficiency. In addition to RVs, campers, and boats, the Renogy 100-watt solar panel is perfectly suited for more permanent installations like your home or cottage by attaching multiple panels to create an off-grid energy system. Although it's compact, if you need a solar panel that needs to bend to fit better, stay tuned for the SunPower 100-watt flexible that can flex up to 30 degrees. The extra features are material. Advanced encapsulation material with multi-layered sheet laminations enhance cell performance and provides a long service life. The pros are durable, corrosion-resistant aluminum frame, and the panels can last for decades. Mounting options, compatible with ground mounts, pole mounts, and tilt mounts. Compatibility, compatible with on-grid and off-grid inverters. Fast installation, pre-drilled holes on the back of the panel allow for fast mounting and securing. No hotspots. EL-tested solar modules with no hotspot heating. And for the cons, finish. Glue job is only adequate and there could be some sharp edges on the aluminum frame. The Renogy 100-watt 12-volt monocrystalline solar panel is great for those venturing into clean energy or off-grid solutions for RVs, campers, boats, or home and cabin roofs. It has a smaller footprint than most standard 100-watt panels but delivers the same output power. The third product on our list is the SunPower 100-watt Flexible. This is our best flexible solar panel. If you're looking for solar panels for your home, cottage, RV, or even your boat but need a little flexibility versus rigid panels, the $200 SunPower 100-watt flexible monocrystalline high-efficiency solar panel is extremely lightweight, portable, and flexible up to 30 degrees, making it easily transportable at only 5 pounds and easy to use or install. SunPower has a long history in solar manufacturing and is considered one of the industry leaders. The solar panel is made with SunPower's highest efficiency Maxion solar cells and delivers the most power and highest charging capacity in their product class. You'll see that the top-grade lightweight polymer material makes the panel flex so it can be used or installed in more unconventional places that regular panels can't fit. It's just 46 inches by 22 inches and weighs only 5 pounds, so you can take it almost anywhere, whether you're off-grid camping or simply want to be prepared in case of emergencies. You'll find it convenient that each panel comes with MC4 male and female connectors that can connect easily to solar-compatible devices. It's great for use with RVs or camping trailers, especially if the roofs have a little curve that traditional panels wouldn't be practical for. The Flex curves nicely to the contours for a better fit, and it's even more aerodynamic. You'll find that the panels are easy to install with adhesives, or you can use stainless steel grommets in the panel. An easy-to-follow installation guide is provided with each panel. The extra features are copper foundation. The cells use a solid copper foundation that's resistant to cracking and corrosion. High efficiency. Uses monocrystalline high-efficiency cells. The pros are flexible. Uses lightweight polymer material that can flex up to 30 degrees. Weather-resistant. Able to withstand harsh weather and not affected by moist environments. Easy installation. Easy to install with adhesives and requires less labor than typical panels, which can be bulky and heavy and require heavy-duty roof mounting systems. And for the cons, efficiency. Lower efficiency than classic panels and are better suited for portable or smaller solar projects. Heat dissipation. With minimal airflow underneath, panels may heat up. If you're looking for flexible solar panels versus the traditional ones, the SunPower 100-watt flexible solar panels are extremely lightweight, flexible, and deliver high-efficiency performance for smaller solar projects. The second product on our list is the Canadian Solar 300-watt monocrystalline solar panel. This is our best value solar panel. If you're looking to offset some electrical costs by investing in solar energy for your home, cabin, or even business, the Canadian Solar 300-watt monocrystalline solar panels are worth considering. Coming from one of the largest solar panel manufacturers in the world, a set of 4 solar panels are currently priced at $1,200. The monocrystalline solar panel does deliver some nice features and the cell technology is solid. It doesn't necessarily have cutting-edge tech behind the build like the Renogy 300-watt 24-volt, but the high-density mono PERC module helps to maximize the light absorption area quite well. It minimizes microcracks. You'll find the anodized aluminum alloy frame is quite solid with mounting holes for installation. One of the main standouts of the Canadian Solar 300-watt panels are the overall value they bring, since investing in solar energy is generally about the return on investment. And with these solar panels priced affordably, the ROI is very attractive and brings considerable value. The extra features are top efficiency. Good quality solar panel with a top efficiency on their 300-watt monocrystalline system of 18.33%. Lower hotspot temperature for better full capacity efficiency and longer performance. The pros are value. Solar panels are Tier 1 level at Tier 2 or Tier 3 prices. Shade tolerance. Can work in shaded areas as well as during cloudy days without compromising too much output power. And for the cons, lower efficiency. When compared to similar products in its class, it rates lower than many competitors. Temperature coefficient. Output falls with higher temperatures. If you're looking to offset some electrical costs by investing in solar energy for your home, cabin, or even business, the Canadian Solar 300-watt solar panels are worth considering, coming from one of the largest solar panel manufacturers in the world. The first product on our list is the Renogy 300 watt 24 volt. This is our best high efficiency solar panel. If you're looking for solar panels for your home or business, Renogy's largest offering comes with flawless construction and performance. The $340 Renogy 300 watt 24 volt monocrystalline solar panel is extremely versatile and can be used for many different applications, even work sheds, garages, or camps, and is ideal for residential and commercial rooftop systems. The Renogy can be the first step from being energy dependent to energy producing. The rooftop solar power system is the perfect way to decrease an electric bill and also great for large off-grid systems. The 300 watt monocrystalline panel can be used in multi-panel solar arrays for cabins and sheds. You'll find the build quality exceptional. The tempered glass and aluminum frame improve durability while keeping the weight in check. The glass is a low-iron tempered piece that can sustain a respectable amount of shocks as well as snow and wind loads to a good extent. The aluminum frame should not rust, and the waterproof junction box and connectors make it perfectly weatherproof. The Renogy comes with a maximum power voltage of 32.25 volts, making it suitable for most 24-volt devices. You can easily connect it to a set of two 12-volt batteries connected in series. The 9.33A current rating allows you to connect to a variety of charge controllers before passing the current to the batteries. The extra features are high-efficiency PERC cells. The passivated emitter rear cell technology ensures more electron movement and creates a higher generation of current. The pros are build quality. Exceptional build quality with rust-free aluminum frame and anti-reflective toughened glass. Size. PERC cells make a very compact panel. Compared to a regular 72-cell 300-watt panel, this panel is 15 to 20% shorter and lighter. Easy installation. The panels come with pre-drilled holes. Mounting options. It's also ground mountable. And for the cons, packing quality can be better. Products may come damaged. If you're looking to reduce your electric bill or looking for off-grid solutions, the Renogy 300-watt 24-volt monocrystalline.
Top 5 countries are China, USA, Japan, Germany, India.
Top 5 countries for solar power capacity in 2019 are China. China boasts by far the world's largest installed solar energy fleet, measured at 205 gigawatt in 2019. United States. The U.S. had the world's second largest installed solar capacity in 2019, totaling 76 gigawatt and producing. Japan. Japan ranks third among countries with the largest solar power capacity, with a fleet totaling 63.2 gigawatt.
Germany is the leading country in Europe for solar deployments, with a national fleet totaling around 49.2 gigawatt. India. India has the world's fifth largest installed solar capacity, totaling 38 gigawatt in 2019.
We are located in Abu Dhabi, near Al Ain. This project is the largest project in the world in one single phase. 101,077 megawatts direct current. That means 936 approximately megawatt AC. We are using more than 3.2 million panels from Jinko Solar, using 804 inverters from a European manufacturer.
We have deployed the mono-PERC technology, which was a quite advanced technology back in 2016. The Noor Abu Dhabi was one of the first projects that have utilized the mono-PERC technology. The mono-PERC technology have very much in optimizing the LCOE by reducing the capex as well as enhancing the annual energy and yield generated from the power plant.
The Noor Abu Dhabi PV project has a lot of economical and environmental benefits. In terms of the economical benefits, it will help in reduce the amount of expensive gas that we are burning every day in order to meet the electricity demand for the country. And in terms of the environmental impact, it's going to meet the renewable targets of the government, and as well as it will create the knowledge transfer from the foreign to the UAE nationals and create jobs for them.
Many innovative solutions and products have been adapted in the project, such as the PV modules with monoPERC technology, the ground screws as the foundations for the mounting system, and the very efficient and cost-effective robotic cleaning solution from China. A total of 6.5 kilometers square is being cleaned daily by 1,400 robots, and the solution is performing very well. A total of 1,177 megawatts have been installed and currently operational on the site, with a total project cost of around $877 million, making it the largest PV power plant operational to date, with the lowest cost of electricity at 2.4 cents per kilowatt hour.
We break the record of the number of modules installation. We have installed 200 megawatt in 1 month, and we break the record of 26,000 modules per day. It's a world record that we finished the construction of the PV plant within 12 months.
We're very proud of developing, building, and operating the first giga-scale PV plant in the world and the largest to date.
Here I am in Dunhuang, northwest China's Gansu province. Behind me is China's first 100 megawatt class molten salt tower thermal power station, which is also called a supermural power plant. It is a 24-hour continuous power generation equipped with molten heat sieving system.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the state of the art in solar power energy generation, specifically solar power plants. This may seem like an odd idea, but it's really been picking up steam in the last 2 years or so. In this video, we'll take a look. This video is brought to you by Squarespace, one of the easiest ways to build a website. The Cold Fusion website I'm building is coming together nicely, so hang around till the end of the video to see how it's progressing and also get a special offer. This month, China just completed the world's largest floating solar power plant, and it's now operational. This is kind of strange because China was once seen as the world's largest polluter, but now maybe they're cleaning up their act. The plant, built by Chinese photovoltaic manufacturer SunGrow, floats in water 2 to 10 meters deep. Interestingly, this plant was built on an old coal mining site that has been filled with rainwater. Because of the mining activities, the water there is otherwise mostly useless. The advantages of such a plant is that no land needs to be cleared, and the water also provides ambient cooling for the plant's environment, reducing long-term damage from heat. The downside? It's only 40 megawatts of power output. For comparison, Australia is building a 330 megawatt land-based solar power plant, and a 650 megawatt one is being built in India. But if you want to take a look at the world's largest land-based solar power plant, it all circles back to China. They have a whopping 1,500 megawatt solar power plant. And for those of you wondering, 1 megawatt can power roughly 400 homes. So let's zoom out on our perspective here a little bit. How do the largest solar power plants compare to the largest nuclear power plants? Here's a general table of all the nuclear power plants over 1,000 megawatts. As we can see, they range from about 1,000 megawatts all the way up to almost 7,000. So we can say solar power plants are about half the average here. So let's take a look at coal. The average here is a little higher, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 megawatts. So the solar plant output is a bit under half here. So this is very interesting. A lot of people usually laugh or are very skeptical of solar power, but as we can see, the largest solar power plant already has half or just under half the energy output of the average large-scale coal or nuclear power station. What's more about all of this is that if you look at the years in which these solar power plants were commissioned, it's all mostly been happening in the past 2 to 3 years. This is all very new stuff. So what this means is that at this point, the technology is at its worst efficiency and the most primitive it will ever be. Solar power plants are only going to get better from here on. Alright, so this sounds all pretty good, but what about the energy storage? How do you store the received energy from the sun to use at night? Well, there's a couple of options. You could go down the battery road with the implementation of a new use for an old technology. Specifically, battery packs like Tesla's power packs. They are the utility-scale battery packs that are used in California and also used to currently power entire islands in Hawaii from solar power. With this method, the off-demand storage issue could be solved. For power plants that use solar thermal energy directly, storing excess energy in molten salt is also a solution. One of the more interesting methods I've heard of is a little experimental. It involves storing energy within rock cavities such as mountains using pressure. A friend of mine who I met at the St. Gallen Symposium is doing this with his company, Alakaze. I've already briefly mentioned him in my Europe video, but we'll be doing a video together on this technology. It's pretty interesting stuff. This experimental method could be a future solution to the off-peak energy problem with power plants that are in suitable geographical locations. Another problem with solar is that obviously, when it's night or cloudy, you're hardly going to get any power from the sun. For this reason, solar power plants are probably going to be a complementary technology to take the strain off the main power grid until energy storage solutions get perfected. So I know what some of you would be thinking. What about the pollution caused by the actual production of solar panels? Well, as it turns out, the amount of environmental damage caused by the production is totally dependent on who's creating the solar panels in the first place. The environmental impact ranges from virtually nothing all the way to pretty devastating in places where environmental consideration isn't a priority. The main risk comes from the chemicals used. Fabricating solar panels requires chemicals such as sodium hydroxide, hydrofluoric acid, and carbon tetrachloride, which can all lead to dangerous waste byproducts. According to studies done by Stanford and the US government, most of the dangers from solar panel manufacturing come from upstream in the supply chain. This is where the raw materials are being treated. In other words, it's most dangerous for the actual workers producing the panels. However, if regulations are followed, it is a safe work environment. But the big question is that with China being one of the world's biggest solar panel manufacturers, are they following the proper workplace and environmental regulations? In the past, a Chinese firm was caught dumping toxic solar panel waste into a river. While this was a few years ago, and since then from the limited data received, China is getting much cleaner in their production pipeline, it still raises some questions. At this point, it really is up to the integrity of the firms to make sure that they're doing the right thing. The safe recycling of old solar panels is also an emerging industry, with Australia leading the way. So on this point, if companies obey regulations and solar panel recycling becomes commonplace, we could have a future with true clean energy on a large scale without waste. It sure isn't the final destination in clean energy, but it's rapidly becoming a valid stepstone. So why have these solar plants only been coming online in the past 2 to 3 years? Well, in a video that I did a while ago on solar, I did mention that there was a rule similar to Moore's law called Swanson's law. It's a rule of thumb about how quickly the price of panels will drop in relation to time. The cost of solar panels are dropping rapidly and will continue to do so. So right now and in the future, it's enabling mass-scale solar panel production. So there you have it, the strange world of solar power plants. What was once completely unfeasible due to cost is now becoming a silent trend in the utility energy generation marketplace. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is the right way to go and a valid step towards clean energy, or do you have some reservations against it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. This video was brought to you by Squarespace. I've been building a cold fusion website using Squarespace and have taken on board some of your suggestions. One of those suggestions was a music section where you can listen to a collection of burn water music.
Even Greenpeace underestimated the rise of solar. When one of the world's largest environmental advocacy groups released an optimistic industry analysis called the Energy Revolution in 2010, it was far more ambitious than any government predictions. And it still got it wrong. Greenpeace estimated that by 2020, the world would have 335,000 megawatts of installed solar photovoltaic capacity. That's enough to power almost 64 million US homes and an increase of over 700% from 2010. But by the end of 2018, there were already over 480,000 megawatts installed globally, enough to power about 91 million homes. Elon Musk promised the world Tesla solar roof tiles in 2016, something the company has yet to fully deliver on. But it turns out the solar industry may not need the upgrade. While the aesthetic of solar tiles that look indistinguishable from normal roofing material is alluring, the industry has been growing exponentially thanks to plain old solar panels. You can see the evidence both on people's rooftops and in the desert, where utility-scale solar plants are increasingly popping up. Here in the US, of all new power capacity added to the grid in 2018, about 30% of that was from solar.
Solar in America has gone from this sort of fringe and very expensive technology to what is effectively now mainstream when it comes to new generation.
And states like California are leading the way, with bold solar targets, incentives, and regulations.
Every new home built in California after the new year must generate as much energy as it consumes. So presumably by making the homes very efficient and installing solar.
But the picture is not all rosy. Solar power is intermittent. The sun isn't always shining, and the price of storage solutions like lithium-ion batteries is still relatively high. Installing solar can be a large upfront cost, and permitting can slow the whole process down. These are real problems that the industry needs to tackle if solar is going to reach its potential. But if the recent past is any indication, solar power is going to help lead the transition to a carbon-free future. And it might do it faster than we all expected. In 2018, solar power made up around 2.3% of electricity generation here in the US. That number may seem small, but it's an impressive leap from 2008, when solar comprised a mere 0.1% of our electricity.
Across the country, in utility after utility, what's become fringe is the idea that you might build another coal plant. Right? No one is really doing that today.
The surge in solar installations has been driven by a steep decrease in the price of photovoltaics, the technology that powers solar panels for both residential and utility-scale use. Since the 1970s, costs have dropped tremendously.
Back then, solar on the ground was about $5 a watt, so 50 cents or more per kilowatt hour. And solar is down now today in the best large commercial applications at 1 to 2 cents, so a factor of 50 reduction. And on rooftop systems, if you finance it right and you're in a good location, your effective cost can be under 10 cents.
It does still cost a lot to get solar. According to Energy Sage, an online solar financing marketplace, the average rooftop panel system in the US cost about $12,500 after tax credits in 2019. But after about 7 to 8 years of lower electricity bills, customers typically break even and start seeing significant savings. And to defray the upfront cost, customers can often get a solar loan or choose to lease the panels instead. Overall, the massive price drop for photovoltaics is largely thanks to China's massively subsidized solar power manufacturing program, which created a worldwide glut in solar panels in the late 2000s. Prices plummeted, and solar companies around the world had to find ways to slash costs to stay afloat. Lots of companies went under, but enough innovated and survived such that in many parts of the country today, solar can now compete on economics alone.
So solar went from essentially the most expensive form to one of the cheapest.
It may be affordable, but it's not perfect. Solar panels don't generate any power during the nighttime, and they're much less effective in cloudy or shady environments. And while the price of photovoltaic panels has dropped, the cost of energy storage options like lithium-ion batteries is still pretty high. For example, the newest Tesla Powerwall, one of the few small-scale batteries meant for residential energy storage, is priced at $7,600, not including thousands of dollars in installation costs. So while panels often generate excess power during the day, there's not always an efficient way to save that energy for later, and so customers often end up relying on non-renewable energy sources at night.
Energy storage is sort of the last puzzle piece to come together to make solar and wind, any intermittent source, a reality for 100% of our power needs.
Furthermore, permitting for rooftop solar takes time and money, and depending on where you live, installing solar on either a residential or commercial scale can still involve a large upfront cost, especially if your state or bank doesn't provide solar-friendly financing options.
Solar installations require that to be permitted. Whether you can do it all remotely or whether you need a building inspector to come out to your home, all of those add costs, add time, add delays, which all make the effective price, if the policy environment is in favoring solar, often a real challenge to get large amounts of it deployed on the residential side.
You'll also almost never see solar on apartments or office buildings because landlords just don't have a monetary incentive to install them for renters who pay their own electricity bills. As for single-family detached homes, about 2% have solar. And while this actually represents a market improvement, it still means residential solar is a relatively rare sight. But experts say it won't stay this way for long.
In California, we have a mandate to have 1 million solar rooftops by the end of 2020. We've already met that goal. We're over 1 million rooftops now and still growing.
Even if you haven't noticed the rise in solar roofs, visit the deserts or plains of California, North Carolina, or Arizona, and you'll see that a large percentage of new solar capacity comes from utility-scale plants producing hundreds of megawatts of electricity that feed into the grid. One such plant is the California Flats Solar Project, a 280-megawatt solar farm developed by First Solar and located in Monterey County, California.
The California Flats project is about 2,900 acres. That's the carbon equivalent of taking about 22,000 cars off the road and can power about 116,000 California homes.
In 2018, utility-scale projects like this generated a total of 66.6 million megawatt-hours of energy in the U.S. That's enough to power about 6.4 million homes for a year and represents 69% of the country's total solar energy production.
So large-scale solar projects can be anything from a 200 kilowatt system that you might see on the edge of a trailer park or a 400 megawatt project in the desert.
However, plants on the scale of Cal Flats are increasingly proving to be the most cost-effective size for utility-scale operation.
When you get to 200 megawatts in size, you're able to take advantage of scale economies, so you can deliver a really cost-effective price of solar power. But when you start getting to larger sizes, sometimes it's difficult to find suitable land, to find suitable transmission capacity.
So I think you'll see probably a larger number of mid-size utility-scale installations that are more strategically located closer to the load, where the power is being used.
The rise of mid-size installations is also being driven by a growing corporate commitment to renewable energy. In 2018, corporations overall more than doubled the amount of clean energy they bought in 2017.
In 2018, Facebook alone signed contracts for around 2.4 gigawatts of renewable energy, which is more solar energy than the entire residential solar market in the US combined.
This kind of corporate buy-in is ultimately necessary for a carbon-free future.
About 2/3 of power is consumed by businesses. So even if everybody went renewable, if all houses went renewable, you'd still only get 1/3 of the way there.
Cal Flats has a corporate partnership with Apple, which buys 130 megawatts of energy from the facility to power its California operations. The other 150 megawatts are sold to PG&E, which then combines this solar power with its other energy sources. Customers receive this blended power by default, but can opt into a program that allows them to receive more of their power from solar or other renewable energy sources.
Many people live in cities or may not have access to a rooftop where they could install a solar system. So it's important that we have utility scale projects to help really create lots of opportunity for lots of different types of customers to be able to get solar power.
However, these utility-scale plants cannot achieve their full potential without energy storage. To compete with the reliability of fossil fuels, solar farms need to be able to generate energy on demand, not just when the sun is shining.
When I've got systems out in the desert and a cloud goes overhead, we want enough of a shock absorber in the system in the form of batteries to help cover that power that's missing momentarily. It could be for a minute, it could be for 4 hours.
Traditionally, storage has come in the form of lithium-ion batteries, and luckily, the price for this tech is plummeting alongside the cost of solar panels. According to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, the average cost for lithium-ion batteries fell 85% from 2010 to 2018. Now, the average lithium-ion battery costs $176 per kilowatt hour.
So you can draw lines very easily in every part of the country, part of the world, to say, okay, is a solar plus storage system today cost competitive with this natural gas alternative? You can draw a line pretty quickly and see where those two are going to cross for every geography.
In some places, BB says solar plus storage has already won out.
Today, in places like Hawaii and in California, solar plus storage, in most cases, is more cost effective than a natural gas contract. In other words, those developers are winning bids, solar plus storage versus natural gas.
Solar power with storage is now often more economical than a type of power plant known as a peaker, which operates infrequently, only firing when demand is high. In April 2019, the utility company Southern California Edison opted for a solar plant with an 100-megawatt battery over a natural gas peaker plant in the coastal city of Oxnard. If regulators approve the plans, it would be tied with Tesla for the largest lithium-ion battery in the world when it goes online in 2020. But unfortunately, lithium-ion may not be able to get that much cheaper. Many experts predict that costs will bottom out at around $70 to $100 per kilowatt hour. At this price, batteries will continue to be an economical option for replacing peaker plants and smoothing out hours-long gaps in solar production. But they won't be a good option for storing energy for weeks or months on end, as this would massively increase electricity costs for consumers.
Some people think lithium-ion is the ultimate, and the path forward is to research heavily for improvements to lithium-ion. Then there are others, and I count myself in the others camp, where I say lithium-ion has done remarkable things for technology, but let's go to something far better.
So researchers like Sadoway are exploring new horizons.
Now we're seeing flow batteries, which are liquid batteries. We're seeing high temperature nickel metal hydride batteries, and we're seeing other forms of storage that are not chemical or battery-based storage ramping up their use as well.
For example, Bill Gates' investors fund, Breakthrough Energy Ventures, is backing the development of longer duration liquid batteries that would ideally be 1/5 the price of lithium-ion. And researchers at Sandia National Labs are experimenting with molten salt thermal energy storage. This non-battery-based system uses concentrated sunlight to heat up molten salt, which is then stored in tanks for up to several days and later converted into steam to power a turbine.
So that power production is the exact same as a coal-fired power plant, except instead of burning coal, we're using concentrated sunlight as our heat source.
As for residential solar, the grid itself often acts as a battery. This is because most states have net metering policies that allow customers to sell their excess energy back to the grid in exchange for energy credits, which they can then use to power their home when the sun isn't shining. But whether storage comes in the form of cheaper lithium-ion or newer experimental technologies, Kamen says that government policies and incentives will need to drive adoption, just like they did for solar panels themselves.
Right now, the California utilities are operating under what's called the storage mandate. They are required by 2020 to have enough storage on board so that they can meet 2% of their peak demand. And we're negotiating right now with the state's Public Utilities Commission to increase that number. When we get to roughly 20% of our peak demand available in storage, we will be able to run a renewable-only system because the mix of solar and wind, geothermal, biomass, all backed up with storage, will be enough to carry us through even some of these potentially long lulls.
In the meantime, expect to see solar installations continue to rise as prices fall and incentives and regulations.
Solar panel in Bangladesh. Great news, Bangladesh is investing more on natural resources. Solar panel in Bangladesh. Renewable energy made up only 1.3% of the country's on-grid electricity supply capacity as of June 2020.
Scarcity of land, high renewable energy tariffs, and the relatively high initial cost of setting up renewable energy plants are among the obstacles to implementing large-scale, On-grid renewable energy projects, including solar power plants.
The solar facility will sell power to the Power Grid Company of Bangladesh under a 20-year PPA. Malaysian renewable energy developer Ditrolic Solar Group has energized what it claims to be the largest solar plant in Bangladesh, the 73.1 megawatt Mymensingh project. Located in the Mymensingh district, 100 kilometers north of Dhaka.
বাংলাদেশ, মালয়েশিয়া ও সিঙ্গাপুরের যৌথ উদ্যোগে এইচডিএফসি সিন পাওয়ার লিমিটেড ও বিদ্যুৎ উন্নয়ন বোর্ড ময়মনসিংহ নগরীর পাশে ব্রহ্মপুত্র নদের তীরে সুতিয়াখালীতে বাস্তবায়ন করছে দেশের সবচেয়ে বড় সৌরবিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্র। ইতিমধ্যে অবকাঠামো নির্মাণ, 1 বর্গ কিলোমিটার এলাকার জুড়ে সোলার প্লেট বসানো, 10টি বক্স ট্রান্সমিশনের সংযোগ প্রদান, সাবস্টেশন সহ 132 কেভিএ ট্রান্সমিশন টাওয়ার নির্মাণ, কেওয়াটখালীর জাতীয় গ্রিড উপকেন্দ্র পর্যন্ত 5 কিলোমিটার আন্ডারগ্রাউন্ড কেবল স্থাপন এবং 1 কিলোমিটার ওভারহেড ট্রান্সমিশন সঞ্চালন লাইন স্থাপনের কাজ শেষ হয়েছে। এখন ইকুইপমেন্ট টেস্টিং ও কমিশনিং এর শেষ মুহূর্তের কাজ চলছে।
গত আগস্ট মাসের মধ্যেই এর যন্ত্রপাতি স্থাপন সহ সকল কাজ সম্পন্ন হয়েছে। আশা করছি আগামী অক্টোবরের মধ্যেই বাণিজ্যিকভাবে এর উৎপাদন শুরু হবে।
প্রকল্প পরিচালক জানান, এই সৌরবিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্র থেকে জাতীয় গ্রিডে আরও 50 মেগাওয়াট বিদ্যুৎ যুক্ত হবে। এতে এই অঞ্চলে বিদ্যুতের লোডশেডিং ও লো ভোল্টেজের সমস্যা অনেকাংশে কমবে।
50 মেগাওয়াট সোলার প্ল্যান্ট এখানে হওয়ার কারণে ময়মনসিংহের যে গ্রিডের এবং আশপাশ এলাকায় যে ভোল্টেজের সমস্যা আছে, সেই ভোল্টেজের সমস্যাগুলি দূরীভূত হবে এবং যে এলাকার একটা উন্নয়ন, আর্থসামাজিক উন্নয়ন, এলাকার কর্মসংস্থান, টোটালি একটা উন্নতির ছাপ ময়মনসিংহে পড়বে।
আগামী অক্টোবর মাসের শুরুতেই বিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্রটি উৎপাদনে যাবে বলে জানান বাস্তবায়নকারী প্রতিষ্ঠানের পরিচালক।
প্রকল্পের কাজ সমাপ্ত হয়েছে, মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর মাধ্যমে শুভ উদ্বোধন করা। ওনার কাছ থেকে সময় এবং তারিখ পেলে যেটা অফিসিয়ালি এটা ঘোষণা দিয়ে এর শুভ উদ্বোধন করার চেষ্টা করব।
2018 সালের নভেম্বরে প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনা 174 একর জমির উপর প্রায় 800 কোটি টাকা ব্যয়ে অত্যাধুনিক প্রযুক্তির এই সৌরবিদ্যুৎ প্রকল্পের ভিত্তিপ্রস্তর স্থাপন করেন। হারুনুর রশিদ, সময় সংবাদ, ময়মনসিংহ।
Top solar panel manufacturers in the world. 1 Longyi Solar in China. 2 Jinko Solar in China. 3 Jia Solar in China. 4 Trina Solar in China. 5 Canadian Solar in Canada. 6 Hanwha-Q Cells in South Korea. 7 Risen Energy in China. 8 Astro Energy in China. 9 First Solar in USA. 10 Suntech in China.
Big solar panel companies Bangladesh. HDFC Sin Power Limited. Malaysian renewable energy developer Ditrolic Solar Group has energized what it claims to be the largest solar plant in Bangladesh, the 73.1 megawatt Mymensingh.
Spectra Solar Park Limited. Spectra Solar Park Ltd, a joint venture of Bangladeshi Spectra Group.
Pristine Crossing Point Limited PCPL. Different projects accumulating to 4 megawatt plants. ZTE China 7.4 megawatt. Solar plant will start generating electricity next month in Rangamati. Joule Power Limited JPL. Technaf Solar Tech Energy Limited Cell is a 20 megawatt national grid-tied solar power plant located on the shores of the Naf River and Naf on 116 acres of land. In green. The 3 megawatt plant was constructed on a build, own and operate basis on 8 acres of land at Sarishabari in Jamalpur by a local company. In green Sarishabari Solar Plant Limited, the plant is now supplying power to the PDB in the Sarishabari 3311 kilowatt subgrid station area at a per unit rate of 0.1897 US cents. Equivalent to Taka 14.74.
Thanks for your patience. That's it for now. So now we would be working on different quotes and company portfolios to evaluate further.